you're in a situation that makes you feel fulfilled and you're just hearing about this idea of I'm in a 9-to-5 rat race and da-da-da-da, this is what it's not, right? It's not just something that you just get out of because you heard that it's a bad idea. No, you have to take your personal situation into account. Are you fulfilled when you wake up in the morning, when you clock in, clock out? Are you clocking in and clocking out, or are you on the clock all day? There's this story, and I like to share it with you. There's a story I heard, and it says there's 3 men doing the same task, right? 3 men doing the same task. However, if you 3 men, they say that this different, they say they have a different meaning for the same task, okay? So when you look at the 3 men, they're all working and they're cutting stone, right? So if you ask the first man what they're doing, he says, I'm cutting stone. That's all he's doing, right? He's cutting stone. You ask the second man what he's doing, he says, I am making a living, right? He's thinking about making money. He's thinking about earning money. If you ask the third guy what he's doing, he says that I'm building a cathedral where people will come to worship at. What's the difference between those 3 people? The task was the same. They all did the same task. The difference was their mindset. The first guy, he looked at it like he was cutting stone, right? That's all he was doing, cutting stone, whatever. He probably woke up that morning and didn't want to do it. That's all he wanted to do, he just cutting stone. The second guy, he's earning a living, which is cool, a little bit better than the first guy. At least he got something, he's doing. He's working for his family, right? He's getting money. But this being said, he's probably thinking of another way to get money while he's cutting the stone. He's not, his heart isn't in it. He's not fully vested. The third guy, he's building a cathedral where people will come to worship. He has purpose. He has purpose, guys. And this is what you have to take into account on your journey of success when it comes to if you even need to escape the 9-to-5 rat race. Well, good morning, rise and shine, you beautiful steppers, rise and grind. How you feeling today? I can tell you're feeling great because I'm feeling great, all right? Now, this being said, let's discuss how to escape the 9-to-5 rat race, right? Now, the first thing I want you guys to go ahead and take into account is your own situation. Everybody's situation is going to differ from this video, right? But let's not focus on our differences. In this video, we focus on our similarities, right? The one thing that we all have in common is the destination. If you're tuned in, you may want to figure out how to escape the 9-to-5 rat race. But the first thing that we have to discuss, and the biggest thing, is as we unpack through this series, you know how we break it down, as we unpack through this series, the first thing that we have to start off with is you have to decide, are you in a rat race, right? You have to set the intention with yourself. What am I doing here? Do I not like what I'm doing here? And this may sound simple, guys, but it's really not that simple, and let me explain why. See, when I first started my entrepreneurship journey, when I first started my journey of success, I'd rather call it that, was before I even stopped and quit my job, right? I was 19 years old. I just heard about this real estate technique called wholesaling, and I had just dropped out of college. Didn't know really what I wanted to do in life. I just knew I didn't want to do a normal life, right? That's what I told myself. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I didn't want a normal life, right? Now, there were certain inclinations that came obvious to me as time progressed and as I progressed on my journey, but this being said, it started with wholesaling real estate. Now, with me learning about wholesaling real estate, guys, it took me to a situation where I looked at what I had waiting for me if I went back to school. Instead of going back to school, I just decided to pursue real estate, wholesaling, real estate investing full time. And by God's grace, it's worked out for me, right? So this being said, guys, as I look back near 4.5 years later, four years later, when I first started the journey, when I look back, guys, the biggest thing that even set me upon the journey, and it's gonna set you upon the journey as well, you really have to take this into account, is setting that intention. Just being able to say, look, I'm in a rat race, right? And now, what am I gonna do about it? And you have to change your concept of rat race, right? It ain't just as simple as being a rat race. If you're familiar with the journey, if you're familiar with the movement, wholesale real estate investing, that is a rat race. That is a rat race. It's a certain form of one. Check out the video up there. The link will be in the description. Check it out after this video, but the playlist. This being said, you have to decide how fulfilled you are inside. This is why it's a challenging decision in the first place, right? You have to decide, how do you feel inside about this situation? Are you able to pursue it? I felt unfulfilled. I felt like what I was approaching, it just wasn't going to fulfill me. It wasn't, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I just knew I didn't want to do what I had waiting for me and what I had to do then. I knew I wanted to do something for myself, for the generations to come, and also impact the world in a positive way. This is how I felt. Much like that third guy. He felt like he was building a cathedral. If somebody else looked at it, he was just cutting stone, all right? So this being said, guys, this episode, take away that you have to set your intentions. And you have to set your intentions clearly, right? For that perspective and also for the action component. Because when you set your intentions, then we'll get to what's next, which you have to devise a plan, right? We'll get into how to break down that plan, but you have to devise one. It doesn't just happen overnight, whatever you have going on and whatever your personal situation is, okay? Now that being said, guys, the biggest thing that you have to do on your journey of success, when it comes to feeling fulfilled, when it comes to having your heart in every step, that's not something that, it came to me because it's a real thing, guys. If your heart is in every step, then you will feel like you are already successful. If you're in a 9-to-5 position right now, if you feel like your heart's in it, then you are already successful. When you clock out, you're probably still thinking about the work itself. And that's what the success I'm speaking about. Living a lifestyle of whatever you imagine. And whatever it is, you're impacting the world in a positive way. So basically, you got to step.